Yo, what is going guys? Welcome back to another AB video, and today we're going to be showing you guys the easiest brawlers to push. And this video was initially going to be based off of like how easy you can push 1Ks, but if you're not ready to push 1Ks, you can definitely just use this list to get to 500, 750, 800, whatever goal you want to reach. But with that being said, let's take a look at the 5 easiest brawlers that you can push in the game to 1K or whatever your goal might be. Alright guys, so 5th on our list is actually going to be Karl, and Karl has been a meta brawler for literally like the past, I don't know, 3 metas. He's been super strong, and he definitely hasn't seen any nerfs in the past balance changes, which I don't know why, but he's really good in 3v3 and Showdown, which is often why you see people playing him in both, and he's just really solid overall. He's got really good range, as you guys can see. He's pretty good on close range maps as well, so you can play him in like nearly any map and you're gonna have pretty good success with him. He's a solid choice for laning, and I don't really play Showdown, but I think you can team with him. I don't know if that's true. Someone who plays Showdown, tell me in the comment section. But yeah, he's overall really good. He's got a ton of DPS, HP, and solid range, I would say, so definitely going to be a solid brawler. And he's very comparable to I would say he's pretty comparable to Pam, because Pam she could have made the list, but I do think that Karl is just a bit better than Pam. But Pam's more of a Showdown brawler, not gonna lie, but she's not exactly played as much as Karl, so I think Karl definitely does deserve this 5th spot because he's really good. He's basically just good at everything overall. Doesn't really have a bad game mode, except for, you could say Bounty, but I do think that he's solid in every single game mode to an extent. So if you're looking to push someone and you don't know who, Karl is definitely a good one just because of his gadget and his star power. So they do work together fairly well. You guys can see that I'm actually kind of dominating on the field at the moment, not to brag, but yeah, Karl is really solid, and I guess we can just move on to the 4th brawler, which I definitely agree with. So yeah, let's take a look at that. And moving on to the 4th brawler for this list, we're going to have my favorite brawler, Poco, and I don't really think you guys are going to be surprised considering how overpowered Poco is paired with tanks. He's strong in like so many different game modes, and if you just pair him with a tank, you're pretty much guaranteed a win. Well, I wouldn't say guaranteed, but you're going to do very well, and he's not the hardest brawler to use at the same time, which is why I kind of like him. You don't really have to think when you play him, but there is kind of a bit of depth, but I do enjoy playing him a ton, and you guys definitely should not struggle if you have to push him, especially if you have the the decapple star power. And he does synergize extremely well with not 1 but 2 tanks, which is kind of toxic, I'm not gonna lie. Playing Poco double tank is pretty toxic in like every single mode. It's kind of a meme at this point, so I suppose that's probably why people play Screeching solo, but he's really solid and he can be really annoying, especially on close-up maps. But that being said, I do think that Decapo probably does need a nerf, and yeah, Poco is fairly easy to play, and he's good in like most game modes except for probably solos. But yeah, that is going to put him at the 4th spot, and if you're looking to push someone, definitely go for Poco. But with that being said, let's take a look at the 3rd spot. So jumping to the 3rd best brawler to push at the moment, I'm gonna be putting a Bo in this spot. I don't think you guys are going to be surprised at all, especially if you have his gadget. If you have a maxed out, you're definitely going to agree that Bo is pretty much just broken. If you've seen his gadget in action, you can pretty much just throw it, stun someone, and get a free kill multiple times across the match. And if you guys know that kills are actually very important, because you can actually win your lane and then help pinch others, which is going to eventually give you control. So Bo's gadget is definitely a huge deal right now, and you can just toss it and people are not going to want to walk over it, because if they walk over it, they're gonna get stunned. You can just watch. I'm gonna get a double stun right there. So that's pretty broken, I'm not gonna lie. And you can detonate it 3 times throughout the match, going to give you control, get free kills. And on top of that, he's actually really solid as well. He's got like, I think he's got like 5,000 hit points and quite a good amount of damage, not gonna lie. You can do like 2100 if you land all 3 of your arrows in one shot. And you can see I'm just popping off with my gadgets. It's pretty no skill at this point. You can just randomly chuck it and they're gonna walk over it, you're gonna stun them, get a free kill. So he's pretty versatile. You can push him, I think pretty much any game mode. I think you can do like duos, surge, you can do something along those lines, maybe use a Terra, so he's pretty broken in every single game mode, except for maybe Heist, but you can probably get away with it every once in a while if you do pick the right map. But with that being said, let's take a look at the second brawler on our list. So the second brawler on our list is actually going to be one of my favorites, and it's going to be Spike. And once again, you guys probably aren't going to be surprised, because let's be honest, Spike got kind of a big buff in the last balance changes, and his counters did get kind of nerfed. So that is going to put him in the second best spot. You can just see that, you can see how dominant Spike is, because you can't really lose lane if you're on Spike. You can win pretty much like 90% against brawlers. You can just keep clapping them, and you're obviously going to be able to win that lane, going to be able to get control, and you can just crush tanks. You can crush most mid-range brawlers, and against range you might struggle, but if you do struggle, you can obviously just use those shards and try to get an advantage. And he does also have a really good star power fertilizer. And we're gonna talk briefly about Curveball. We're not gonna talk too much because I know it's kind of controversial, but Curveball is, let's just say it's broken. Like you don't even need to aim with Curveball, guys. You can just chuck it, it's going to hit someone. You're gonna deal like 800 damage, and it's just broken. So if you're not that good with Spike, just run Curveball. You're probably going to end up pushing him pretty high, and he does also have huge burst potential. You can just walk up to someone and gadget, you can throw your super, and then you can just use your basic attacks, take them out. So Spike is going to be second, good in pretty much every mode except for Bounty, I would say. And that is going to put us onto the first best brawler of the video. So let's take a look at the number one spot. So the number one spot is going to go to Max. I think we've all guessed it at this point. Max is just, she's so ridiculously strong, and honestly, I don't know why they didn't nerf her in the last balance changes. She definitely did deserve a nerf, because she was basically, I would say top 5, definitely top 5 in the last update, and with the buff to her supercharge, that definitely put her in the top 1, and they did nerf Gale and Surge, so she's obviously going to be really strong right now. And if you're wondering why, it's mainly because of her damage. You can burst like every single brawler, and she's got a ton of speed. You can just run around killing everyone, and you can gadget away if you need to, which the gadget is obviously really strong, because you can just you're pretty much immune for like 2 seconds when you gadget, so it's really ridiculous. And yeah, she's also amazing at solos. As you guys can see, I played like 2 matches and I faced like 8 maxes, so that was kind of irritating. And as you guys know, I don't team, so that's probably why I'm going to be not doing well in these solo matches. But yeah, she's amazing at pretty much every mode, and she's banned for the most part in competitive, along with a few handful of other brawlers. So she's really good in comp. She's also somewhat broken, I would say, in every single other mode. Definitely, I wouldn't say she's broken in Bounty, but for the most part, she's really strong, and you definitely are going to be wanting to push her if you don't know who to push. So I will say, however, she is kind of high skill cap. She's not that high skill cap, but you definitely do need a fair amount of skill if you want to dominate with Max. So Max is obviously going to be a really strong and good pick if you're looking to push someone. So yeah, that is going to be the top 5, guys. I did just want to run through it fairly quickly, but with that being said, let's jump back home and wrap up the video. Okay guys, so that is going to wrap up the video. I do hope I gave you somewhat of a good guide. Hopefully that'll help you choose who to push when you're looking to push someone to whatever goal that you want to finish. And if you just want to push someone really high, definitely choose one of those, especially if they're your favorite brawler, such as mine, like Poco and Spike. I love playing both of them, so that is it's been a pretty fun meta for me. I do think that the meta is in a really good state, especially with all the different maps. So that is going to wrap up the video, guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, stay ricey. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.